internet? What's going on? It's Blake the Great, Guardian of the Gameshop. Well, we're here because we are watching the Summer Game Fest preview. You know, there's kind of like, there was a stealth kind of announcement this morning of like, hey, we're going to be showing off a new game from the Summer Game Fest. Tomorrow there's also going to be one, so I'm going to try to record one for both. But we got 15 seconds, so let's see what this new game is. Hopefully it's something we haven't seen before. Oh. Someone's... Oh.
Exclusive.
Someone Japanese is talking, and I just heard exclusive. Okay, come on, come on. What is it? What is it? I hope nothing's wrong with the stream. What is this? Oh, wait. Is this... Oh, it's Tony Hawk. I woke up this morning for Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Oh, it's a remaster of both. Okay, it's an epic collection, and it's Tony Hawk's Remaster 1 and 2. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest Tony Hawk fan. Definitely looks better. You know, yeah, cool. Grinding. I'm so out of my element here because I don't know anything about skateboarding. I can't even make a skateboarding reference. The character models look nice. Classic locations. I wonder if they're going to let me play as Darth Maul. Probably not. Or Spider-Man. Probably not. Unforgettable soundtrack. I wonder if they relicense the original songs, or if it's something new. Oh, look at that Freddy Krueger outfit. What's up? Original modes and online multiplayer. Okay, online multiplayer is cool. Break skateboarding boundaries. Yeah, that's just marketing speak. Activision's putting it out. We'll see how that goes.
There's the big news. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming back for a brand new.
I love Jeff.
Hey everyone, it's Jeff.
He's a nice guy.
And this is
hair's starting to gray out a bit.
Game Fest announcement of that news, and to talk a bit about it right now, we've got two very special guests joining us. Of course, the one and only Tony Hawk and Jen. From
oh my God, it's Tony Hawk!
The incredible Crash
Guys,
Bandicoot
now my stream has me, my face, and their three faces. It's so great. It's so great.
A much requested thing to have happen. Tony, this is exciting. I know it's been like I think 4 or 5 years since the last time you guys did a game. You know, this is what everyone I think wanted, right? It was like rolling back the clock to the originals and
I remember that there was some Tony Hawk game that got put out recently. I forgot what the name was, but it was not good.
There's been a lot of requests.
And I don't know if it was a remake or not, but it wasn't like this.
Over 5 years.
I think it was something similar though.
I could just sense it ramping up, especially as we approach the 20th anniversary of the release of the first THBS. And I was talking to Activision about some other stuff, about some charity events, and you know, the idea was to say, why don't we remaster this? And when it came from them, I said, you don't understand how many people have asked me that.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Explained to them that,
you know, so many people have been asking him about remastering.
Who's gonna make this happen? And they said, yeah, let's get on it, and they immediately tapped.
Well, Jeff said that the game that was going to be revealed today wasn't going to be mind blowing. It was just going to be like a nice little fun thing, and this is one of them. Oh, did Tony Hawk just freeze? Oh God, that would have been so funny.
What VV always does, which is kind of honoring the tradition of the game, but actually kind of fully upgrading it, and not just the graphics, but it's also like the controls and how it feels, because we're moving,
that's the most important thing.
Forward in time. Jen, this is
like you gotta nail that control and feel, kind of like the Halo original version or Shadow of the Colossus remake. That's very important when it comes to these games. Because if it's off, it's off. I don't know if Spyro and Crash had the same thing. I didn't play those games, so I don't know how authentic they were to the original. They're fans. Vicarious Visions. It's a good studio. They don't really make their own stuff. They're just kind of like a mill for whatever Activision needs them to do. Sucks. Vicarious Visions is kind of like the Microsoft Word of video game stuff. You know, publishers and developers. It's like a necessity that Activision uses, but they don't trust them to, like, you know, make their own stuff. Disappointing for them.
So we started with the Neversoft engine, looking at the Neversoft code base for the handling.
Good start.
Also looked at the level layouts and bringing over the geometry as a starting point.
Good.
And then you upgrade everything from there, from the animations to the high-res graphics, to those quality of life improvements that modern gamers expect. So it's a
quality of life. That's also important too. I mean, there's so many remakes that just they go too authentic.
Yeah, and
you got to find a balance.
So many years later, as Tony said, like 20 plus years. So even the nature of how you control and play the game has changed so much. Because I mean, you remember, Tony? I mean, the old game pads. I mean, it's like analog sticks weren't even a thing. So it's like I imagine that was a lot of what you had to think about. Is like,
yeah, this is really not my wheelhouse, but good for them.
Give you so much more granularity when playing.
Yeah, well, we've had experience with doing this before, but certainly, old school player,
I'll say this much: I know that Skate has been heavily requested as well, not just Tony Hawk, but Skate. So I think that Skate would be nice to bring back too. I mean, Activision does make its EA was answer to Tony Hawk. Then again, EA might just be putting out a whole bunch of remasters. I could easily see them remastering Skate and putting it on the Switch. That would sell pretty well too.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I saw PS4 and Xbox One, but I wonder if this is coming to Switch. I mean, it didn't look super intensive graphically, so maybe it runs at a different frame rate. They'll probably tell us. I mean, I can always just turn back the clock and see.
How you were giving feedback and sort of where you wanted.
I mean, they're just talking at this point. I'm just listening to see if there's anything important.
Updated to today's standards or quality of life, as Jen said.
Yeah, I would say the basis of it was
Tony Hawk's frozen.
Does it feel like it responds
to
the original games did?
I just wish they would pre-record this. Just pre-record everything. When Inside Xbox did its thing, where it's just they're all live.
They finally got the feel, and it didn't take them very long.
Just pre-record it. There's no problem. There's no issue.
And it's obvious that they're fans of the game. So when I started playing it,
we've found people who weren't fans of the game to make this game, because that would have been a smart idea, right? I mean, come on.
Just way over the top. I mean, they're exponentially better, obviously, through the systems, but they're even better because they've spent the time to get these levels and to get.
I don't know. Again, I don't know much about Tony Hawk. I know that there are moves, and you execute them, and you get points. Music, soundtrack's really good. The online components, that's really cool for Tony Hawk fans. Feel good for them.
Well, of course, online gaming is
not to get social justice warrior-y, but I noticed there was like a black guy in there. Like you could play like an African American model. So I'm wondering, did the original one have that? I mean, I'm sure it did, but I'm just curious if like one of the updates was, inclusivity. Because that's kind of neat. Maybe you can design your own guy. It wasn't really clear. They showed models, but they didn't show like, they didn't show like, I'm sure it's cosmetic stuff like shirts and chains and shoes and hats. But I wonder if you can like change your face or race or gender maybe. Maybe there's a female option. Again, not to get too social justice warrior, but I'm always happy to have inclusivity in games that are, make sense. No. God, that sounds so bad. If a game is set in a period of time, it can't be inclusive. I'm not one of those guys. I mean, to an extent, When EA tried to do their Battlefield thing, like women soldiers I had no problem with. Soldiers with like amputee arms, that was a bit of a stretch, And they did. It's funny because they got so much flack for that, and they never even ended up doing it. It was like I think women were in it for sure, but everything else, it was like, nah. We're getting a lot off topic. Again, don't have much
Yeah,
to
I
talk
didn't
about
wanna
on this
too much,
particular
you know,
game.
I feel like people are going to be so excited to play exactly as they remember it.
Okay,
in
yeah.
This new visual field.
The music, I think, is more
That's
important to me
Wonderland.
on this game.
Yeah, no, and you
I remember a lot of
I was
people
gonna say, you
saying
know,
the music
I
was
think what's
very
maybe fresh
good.
to these two titles
And I
is
just
that,
saw the soundtrack. It was like a
you'll have
glimpse,
full
but
suite
I don't.
to
I'm not
extensively
familiar
work
with the
from
original soundtrack.
even
So if
the
anyone
modern
knows,
THPS series. Because when we
assuming they don't talk about it
fans and we
here,
ask them, "What do
if
you
anyone
remember
knows
about
if the
these games?" And it's
soundtrack
really being
that they
skateboarding
showed in that
superhero
trailer
doing
is the
those crazy
same
endless
or
lines. So we
close to
needed
identical,
tricks like
please let me
Reverb,
know in the
which came in
comments.
later,
I
so
don't
that you
normally
could
ask
chain
about
together your
people
tricks.
asking me in the
So
comments.
we
I don't
added
expect a lot of
those
people to
back
watch these
into the mix.
videos.
So I'm
You probably
really
stopped
looking
at
forward to
like
seeing
minute
people,
3.
you know,
But
skate the
if you're
warehouse,
still
but do
watching,
some
thanks.
super
Thanks for
crazy
the support,
micro
and
moves.
leave a comment
It's
if you
funny,
know the
I
answer.
get corrected all the time because when I talk about the series, and I say, oh, when we introduced the revert in THPS 2, which was not in THPS 2, but it's like I don't want to remember a time before we had the revert.
Oh, that's so
So,
funny.
I
revert.
did
So
insist on adding that to
I think
the
revert
series,
is when
even
I think
though
they mean that you
I
can
can't
go back to
remember.
like a point
Came in 3, that's
back
right.
rather
I think
than
what
redoing the whole
happens is
thing.
you start playing and your finger just keeps going for that trigger. So you just again that
Yeah.
muscle
That's
memory
really cool.
kicks in and you
If
just
they
wanna
if
do
they
the
brought that
tricks
as a
you're familiar
feature, I mean
with. And
that's
so I
pretty
was
neat.
doing it. I kept seeing other people
Again,
doing it.
a really good quality
So
of
it made
life
sense that
idea. It's kind of like
this is what
how
people
Mario
naturally are
games
gonna want to
or
have.
platformers should just have a revert.
But I think that it's going
Because
to be the same
going
thing,
back
sort
to the end of the
blurring
level
memory
is
of,
sometimes
well,
lame. Unless it's
I
like
know
an
this failed,
intentionally
well, that
hard
was in
game,
4.
you know?
So
Right.
we did include some of those because people were
That's why
expecting
games like
they
Super
won't
Meat
remember
Boy
the
and
timeline.
Celeste are so fun because you can just go
Oh, for
back
sure. So I think it
to
all,
what
I
you
mean,
were doing.
3 was so
And
classic.
you're just
like,
going and going and going. You're just like throwing yourself against a wall.
You know,
Again,
Pro Skater
I will
style.
talk about
I know
anything
around
over
the
these
game,
guys.
You know, you are doing some work with like Create a Park, Create a Skater, and can you maybe talk about that Genesis or
Oh.
surrounding that?
Create a Park and Create a Skater. Oh, they okay.
Yeah,
Create a
so
Skater.
The game has always been about self-expression.
Self-expression.
So Create a Skater is awesome.
Let's see.
We have a ton of diversity in our faces,
Yeah.
the hair, the clothing, so many things
Yeah.
that you can pick out. Of course, your deck graphics, trucks, wheels, you name it.
That's
but
very
I'm
important
really
too.
super
I mean,
excited
again,
for Create a Park
social
because
justice
the
stuff and
team
all.
has truly
The idea that
organized
you
this
can
feature.
customize
I
your
told you a bit about
skateboard and
how
all
you
the
can share
parts of
online,
the
et cetera.
skateboard. Again, don't know
There
much
are
about
a ton of
skateboarding,
pieces
but
and
that's
parts
cool.
that you
That's
can
very, very
customize your
cool.
park with.
Um,
The new news is that you'll be able to modify many of the pieces, and so modify them. If you want to take a rail, twist it around, turn it into basically like a roller coaster, you can do that. If you want to create some
for
crazy,
parks.
massive mega ramp that goes all
That's
the way
so
up into the
cool.
sky,
I mean,
you
that's a
absolutely
really
can do that
cool
too. So I'm
addition.
really super stoked to see
Um,
what our players
And again, if it
create
has the
with this.
physics and the
We're gonna
mechanics
be able
of
to
Tony
share it
Hawk 1 and
online,
2,
like
I think. Oh shit.
I said, and share it
Hit
with
the
their
trigger.
friends.
I think
I can
that's.
imagine one of the things that I
There's
look
some
forward to
really
is you can
good
tag
updates to
your
this. I
first
think that
descriptors.
I think they've
You'll
shown
be
that
able
they're
to,
at least
go to their local skate
going
park
all in
and-
on
and
making this the
essentially
best
build it in
remake
the
it can
game.
be.
So if I wanna see what a
It's
skateboard
not
in
half-assed.
Chicago
Like
looks I
again,
can
there
just
was another
click
Tony
it
Hawk
and
game.
type in
I wish I had my
Chicago
phone
and it
nearby
goes
me.
like
It's over
here.
there.
So, I'm really looking forward to seeing what people
You know,
do.
I'm curious. Now you're gonna watch
So
me
you're
on
gonna
my phone.
design some stuff, Tony. I guess, right?
Content, everybody.
Yeah,
Content.
absolutely. I think that was the
I want to
original
know what
plan,
that
too, with
that
all the
game
creative
was.
parts, is that
What was the
you
bad
could
Tony
share it
Hawk?
online and it just-
Oh,
it
my
wasn't-
screen limits are
it
not
wasn't
allowing me
come
to
of
check
age yet,
everything.
So, now is
Um,
the time for sure.
Having done this, Tony, does this make you feel like, hey, you know, you want to get into
Yeah, let's
keep doing these again
let's
and again? 'Cause,
see.
I mean, you
Let's
kinda
see if I
stopped
can
and there were
pull it
different
up.
people were like, I know there were a lot of them for a lot of years. And it's
Again,
like,
he
good to
looks
take
like a
break,
Freddy
but I
Krueger
feel like
outfit.
people,
What was that?
as
Oh,
you
was it
said, I
Skate
mean, the
Jam?
audience still wants
Tony
it.
Hawk's Skate Jam? I think that
Yeah,
might.
and there
No,
is
that
a
was. It looks like
strong
that's a mobile
nostalgia
game. There was
attached
some
to
game.
the original,
Maybe it was just Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
THPS 1 through 4.
Maybe that's what
So,
it was.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
it was
two
Tony Hawk Pro
really
Skater 5,
top point,
and it just got
I would
from what I
probably
remember, it
go
just
more
left a
down the line.
really
I think
bad
that the-
taste in people's
especially
mouth. It
the
was
DVD
broken, poorly
is
I'm reading it. It's broken, poorly assembled. Not worth your time.
You know, even 3 and 4 were still only on.
Yeah,
on
I remember that.
so
I remember Tony Hawk Pro
come a
Skater 5.
long way
I
with
think that
technology, and
I think that game came with
these
like.
guys truly are the best ones. Like,
No, I don't think it was that one, but there was another one that came out
every
for
time we
like
get
the
a new
Wii or
version,
something that you
I
had
can't
some
believe
kind
how
of
good it looks. I mean,
you could
that's
use use the Wii board or something. I can't remember,
No,
but there was
VBA,
something
such a
like
great
that.
job
It was
done. I think
it was
that's
lame.
that, with
People
games,
hated
it's-
it.
it's sometimes sad because we don't have that backwards compatibility of all of these old, systems. So all these games that, I grew up playing, it's like you just can't really play them anymore, right? And if, on a PC, sometimes you can find old versions of games, but old, as you said, like PS1
Yeah, video game
games,
conservation is very important.
So the fact that
it's a shame that Nintendo can't get off their ass and put out video games that people want. Virtual console, anybody?
To build around it, and the
I swear, you pay $20 for games that we're gonna give you cloud saves, and now I'm doing a rant on Nintendo. We're gonna give you cloud saves for $20 a year. Oh, but except for in Animal Crossing, and except for in Pokemon, or except for these games, because people might cheat. Meanwhile, people on Animal Crossing just go time traveling and they cheat as much as they want. It's ridiculous. And Virtual Console, had its problems, particularly that they didn't put out enough content on a timely manner, but it was good. Meanwhile, you have Nintendo's service who's like, hey, we're going to add Super Nintendo games. Great. How many games? 20. Great. And most of them are, some of them are good, or a lot of them are good. But,
that's right. We're coming
I mean,
out
there are
September
hundreds of games that came
and
out
if
for
you
the Super
pre-order,
Nintendo, and they've
today,
not updated that.
You can,
Oh,
well,
pre-order
in
bonuses.
general, not just today.
Takes
You'll
me back
get
to my
access
GameStop
to
days.
that iconic warehouse level from THPS.
The iconic warehouse, if you
You'll get access to
pre-order,
it early, so
you
for
get
the
it
game
early.
purposes, So definitely check it out.
You get it early. Early DLC.
Promotional disc.
I mean, that was...
Exactly.
I used to pump
No,
that
I
shit
get-
all
that's
the time
thing
at
is that part of
GameStop.
this thing with this whole
Because,
Summer Game
you know,
Fest
they've
is
conditioned
they're
us to
home and they
be
wanna,
accepting of
play
that.
games 'cause they're not gonna be able to go to,
I think
events like
pre-ordering
E3
is
and stuff like
stupid
that
at this
year to
point.
play stuff, so
You
they're
know,
not
back
gonna have,
back when there were
you know,
physical
the warehouse
copies and there was no
people be able to
digital
play,
copies,
later this summer is awesome.
you know,
Awesome
is one of those
to hear.
things
So,
like, you're going to miss out. And
Tony,
that
Jen,
that
thanks for
felt
joining
like
me.
that.
Great to
Oh,
have,
looks like they're ending it.
THPS back,
Let's see if there's anything else that
and coming this
Jeff
fall. So
announces or
look
talks
forward to,
about.
Seeing more later this year.
Wonderful. Thank
Alright.
you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I think that was it. Again, we're getting another game tomorrow. Hopefully there'll be something that I can talk more about. Yeah. Looks like it's over. I wonder if there'll be like a little preview
Now
or
comes the
tease.
fun part.
Okay, yeah, now it's just an ad.
So let's talk about the next console.
Yeah, we'll just pause that. Okay, so overall, Tony Hawk, my first... this was mainly just to help me out in getting into the mode of recording stuff. I had to set all my lights up and everything like 40 minutes before everything started because I didn't realize this stuff. I'll be ready tomorrow for this. Hopefully there'll be games that I can talk more about rather than going on random tangents. But, you know, I feel good for the Tony Hawk people. I think that I know Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 have a lot of love from a lot of people who don't even, people who aren't super into skateboarding, they still love that game and how it played. So it was smart of them to remaster those two. And I know that the last one, the fifth, put a really sour taste in people's mouths. So that's good. Again, not my style of game. Hopefully this will encourage EA to put out Skate. Again, that wasn't also my kind of game, but I remember people loving Skate and believing that it was this this kind of, I wouldn't say renaissance, but I would say something like it was this reemergence of skateboarding, and it was the controls were just so different, but they felt so good to people, and there was so much. There were so many features that Skate had that at the time before then Tony Hawk didn't. It sounds like Tony Hawk's learned maybe from Skate and has adapted some of those features. Again, I don't know both games enough to know if that's true, but it seems like the updates, from what I remember, Skate had similar updates. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know if the camera's blurry. It's been doing it. I'm gonna try and get a new one, but or I'm gonna see if that would solve the problem. The problem is though that you know, with the as Game Grumps like to call it, the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, the unprecedented times of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, make it difficult to justify the purchase. Only for the fact of I don't have a job right now, so you know, and I'm waiting for unemployment to go through, but it's not been going. Now we're just on tangents. But the point is, I'll see if I purchase one. I might just have to set up with this. I might try and finagle it. I didn't have time. I haven't had time since the last one to really focus on this because I didn't expect a new video game announcement to be made. I was like, oh, you know, it's going to happen towards the end of the month. And like, no, we have a game on Wednesday. And then, nope, you have a game Tuesday morning. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it wasn't too tangent-y. I'm sure it was. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I hope you stay safe and stay healthy and stay sexy. I'm Blake the Great, Guardian of the Game Shop, and just keep gaming. I'm working on that outro. I used to say it a long time ago and I forgot. It's keep on gaming. That's what it was. Anyway, so catch you later, guys.